Okay, just going to go over the review sheet that we handed out. This is on Module 4, Lessons 2 through 8. So everything that we've been working on in class this past couple weeks, or at least week or two. So let's look at the first question. Express your answer as a fraction. You'll see the example. You'll see the example up here. 1 divided by 5 equals 1/5. Right? So if we look at the four problems here, the first one says 3 divided by 4. So 3 divided by 4, you're just taking the first number and you're dividing it by the second number. So it's the first number becomes your numerator, second number becomes your denominator. This is what is being shared by how many. So in 3 divided by 4, 3 items are being shared by 4 people. So it's 3 divided by 4. So let me write that here. So that would be 3/4. Right? Now, you go to the next one. We have 5 divided by 6. So when you do 5 divided by 6, that would be 5 objects shared by 6 people. So your fraction would be 5/6. Each person is going to get 5/6 of the amount. So 5/6. What is being shared by how many? We remember we went over that. Wibs over whom? Wibs divided by whom? What is being shared? WIBS over HM. How many? That's number 2. So hopefully you see the pattern here. Number 3, 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 would be 4 over 2. 4 halves. 4 over 2 would be your answer. And the last one in that section, number 4, is 9 divided by 4. 9 divided by 4 would be 9/4. Okay? 9 over 4. And there you go. All right, so that's numbers 1 through 4. So that's very simple. Okay, you're just taking the numbers, putting them into a fraction. All right, so hopefully you've also seen we put out the video interpreting division as fractions, or interpreting fractions actually as division. Okay, so now let's go to, and you will see also on the review sheet, we have WIBS by whom. I'm circling it now, which stands for what is being shared by how many. Okay, I always like to jot that right down on my test, WIBS over HM. And whenever I'm looking at a word problem, asking myself, what is being shared? What is being shared by how many? Am I sharing the people? Am I sharing the cupcakes? Am I sharing the gallons of water? Am I sharing the cups? You got to just read the problem and just play it out in your head and think, what is being shared by how many? So we look over here, and here there's nothing for you to complete. Just read the problem and let's look at how we solved it. So it says 5 pounds of birdseed to fill 4 identical bird feeders. What fraction of birdseed will be needed to fill each feeder? So I'm going to ask myself, what is being shared here? So what is being shared by how many? Well, am I sharing the bird feeders or am I sharing the bird seed? And don't always fall into the trap that the first number they give you is always going to be what is being shared, and the second number is going to be by how, what is being shared by how many on the bottom. Don't fall into that. So I look here, and here does work out that the 5 pounds of birdseed is what you're sharing. So I am going to write 5 on top, and it's being shared by the 4 identical bird feeders, because that's what you're doing. You're taking the 5 pounds of bird seed and you're giving it out into the 4 bird feeders. So now you have 5/4. Okay, so each feeder is going to get 5/4, but here is where now you need to simplify. So you are going to get 5/4 of a pound. Okay, and how can we turn that 5/4, which is an improper fraction, and simplify that into a mixed number? And this is where you will say, okay, 4 is my denominator. So how many 4s can go into 5, which is 1? And how much is left over? Well, then there's 1 more, and your denominator stays the same. So 1 and 1/4 of a pound will be your answer there. Okay. All right. And at any point, if you need to go back, rewatch it, please do that, because no, this is your quiz. Okay. So, and this is what we've been going over in class. So make sure that it makes sense to you. Now let's go to second example. Greg spent $4 on 5 packs of sports cards. How much did he spend on each pack? Well, now let's look. 5 pounds of, not 5 pounds, sorry. Greg spent $4 on 5 packs of sports cards. Well, what is being shared? Well, what is being shared? Here, we are sharing the $4 is being shared by the 5 packs of sports cards. So this is actually going to be 4 divided by 5. Okay, because we're spending a total of $4 on the five cards. This one isn't as clear as the other one, but when you really ask yourself, what is being shared? I'm not sharing 5 packs of sports cards with $4. I'm not giving the 5 packs of cards to $4. I'm spending the $4. I'm sharing that $4 is being split to the 5 packs of sports cards. So it's going to be 4 over 5. Now, when it goes, how much money did he spend on each pack? This is when you really have to look at it and go, all right, well, how much money did he spend? Well, 4/5. He spent 4/5 of a dollar. So let's just see how we could do this. So if I have 4/5 of a dollar, I'm going to write it. We have 4/5. I want to make it equal to, all right, 100 cents is in a dollar. So how do I get to 100 cents? Well, 5 times 20 gets me to 100. Let me wait until the screen catches up. And then I do 4 times 20 and gives me 80. And 80 hundredths of a dollar equals 80 cents. So it would be 0.80 or 80 cents. Okay, for example 2. All right. Now, let's go to the third example. 2 sisters share 5 cookies. How many cookies does each sister get? Well, what is being shared? Again, I think I erased it. What is being shared by how many? Well, what are we sharing here? Are we sharing the 2 sisters, or are we sharing the 5 cookies? Obviously sharing the 5 cookies, so it's 5 over 2. So each sister is going to get 5 halves of a cookie, and how many cookies is that? Well, 2 can go into 5 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4 with 1 left over, and they're getting 2.5 cookies each. That is the answer there. 2.5 cookies each. All right. Now, look at the last one here. Finding fraction of a set. This one, there's nothing for you to complete. It's just want you to follow along with the example that we have. So let me change colors. It is 1/3. You will see, and this is all the work is actually, I don't have to redo the work over here. You will see it 1/3 of 9. Okay, so I'm circling that right there. 1/3 of 9. So we know our denominator is 3. So we are going to turn this into 3 groups. And you could see we made our 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. And there are 9 total because it's 1/3 of 9. So you have to have 9 all together. So I will put that over here. There's my 1, 2, 3. I make my 3 columns. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my 9 groups. Okay. And now 1/3 of 9, we're looking at one of those groups. And in one of those groups, there are 1, 2, 3. Okay. I also, if I'm just going to put my 2 cents in here, 1/3 of 9, I look at that 3 on the bottom, that thirds, and I make my 3 groups. So I kind of like making my 3 columns first, or 3 groups, and then I give out my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my 3 groups of 3, and if I'm looking at one group, there's 3 in one group. So whichever way you want to do it, it's going to give you the same thing. It's either my way or Miss Burke's way. You choose what you think is. Oh, someone's watching me, so let's say it. So there we go. So 1/3 of 9 is 3. Right? And there was one last way on the bottom. You'll see here. 1/3 of 9, that of can also mean multiplication. So you can just do 1/3 times 9. And this is like the video of mine that you watched today. You could put the 9 over 1 and do 1/3 times 9 over 1, which will give you 9/3. And 9/3 simplified is 3. So there's multiple ways for you to get the same answer. All right. And this leaves us with one final question. It's on the back of the page. Oh, well, it's 2 more, just going with what we were just doing. So 5/6 of 24. Okay. So you'll give this a shot on your own. If you haven't, pause it and then come back after you try it. You could use a tape diagram if you want. You could draw counters, any method we've gone over in class. So for here, 5/6 of 24, we could, some of us that see it could say, wow, 6 goes into 24 4 times, and then I'm going to multiply that, because I have 5 groups of 4, times it by 4, and that's going to give you 20. Okay, so you could do it that way. Or counters, okay, I mean, you could do a tape diagram, or you could use counters. And for me, I would say 5/6. You could either draw 6 columns, okay, or we could say I'm going to make 6 groups. So I'm going to draw 6 big circles. Okay, here's group 1. Oh, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm squeezing it in there. 6. All right. And in each group, now I'm going to give out all 24, but I'm sharing equally here because it's 5/6 of the 24. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I gave out all 24. And now I have to look at 5 of those groups. And inside 5 of those groups, well, if there's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And you get the same answer of 20. 5/6 of 24 is 20. So that's how you could draw it with your counters. And last, 7/8 of 16. Okay, so 7/8 of 16. You'll see these numbers are very friendly. So we could do 7/8. You could draw your 8 groups and give out all 16 until you have none left, and count how many counters are in 7 groups. Or here you can see, 8 goes into 16 2 times. So that means there are 2 counters in each group, and then you multiply that by the number of groups we have, which is 7. And then you'll have 2 times 7 equals 14, which would be the same way if I now did my columns and I have 8 columns. 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think 8. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to give out. Oh, I already gave out 1 in each group, so that's 8. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. I gave out all 16, and now we just look at 7 groups. 7 groups would be, here we are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And you get the same answer. All right. So that is the entire review sheet. If you know what you're doing here, you'll have no problem. All right. So let's take it back to the main screen. And thank you for watching.
Thank you. Come again. What's her name? Lori called you?
She called me? Oh, is she really going to ask me? I've already told Dawn. I bet it's... Because Dawn was looking for... Oh, no, it's further.
What?